Hello again, everyone. It is time for another episode of the Community Connection Show, the show that brings you positive stories and encouraging news as we interview top leaders in every sector of the community. And now, here is your host, national speaker and best-selling author, Ryan Sauers.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another Community Connections with Ryan Sauers. I'm super excited today to have my friend Raymond Little, co-founder and VP of Perimeter Roofing. And I love the shirt. Nobody cares, work harder. We were just talking about that before we went on air. Raymond, welcome to the show. So that shirt kind of embodies your thought process, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, a little bit, man. I just, put your head down, go to work every day, have goals, and the results will follow,
Absolutely. And you've got your story, we've gotten to know each other and we've done business together, but you co-founded Perimeter Roofing. But so tell us a little bit of your audience to say, we don't even know who Raymond Little is. Let's assume the few that don't. Just tell them a little bit about your background and life's not all guns and roses and trophies, and what you want to share.
Yeah, no worries. I got sober a little over 12 years ago.
Kudos.
Shortly after that, I did, moving jobs. I worked for a big moving company, worked my way up through the ladder there. Washed boats, rode my bike, to wash boats at the beginning. Then worked at an automotive accessory place, sweeping the floors, doing whatever, just filling in the spots that need to be filled in there. Then got with Justin Simpson and Todd at True Tech Roofing. From basically, cleaning bathrooms and sweeping floors over there. Started knocking doors over there as a canvasser, a lead setter. Worked my way through over there. Obviously, Justin went to Florida. Me and Todd then co-founded, Perimeter Roofing.
Right.
Joined up with Lance, our other business partner, and pretty much like a rocket from there.
A rocket ship indeed. It's been a wonderful partnership I've had with you guys, and with Todd and Lance, and you. But I was just asking you a question. You've done all this growth and done whatever. And what a lot of our, we introduce the show's about community leaders, Raymond, and what I see a lot of younger people saying, they say, well, I'm successful now. I bet Raymond never climbs on a roof. Well, what did we just talk about? What did you say? You're willing to do what? Whatever.
Oh yeah. I mean, I still do repairs. I still, I'll change a pipe boot. I'll do an attempt to repair to show an insurance company it's not repairable. And I'll sit in a meeting, about a 9-figure transaction. I think the misconception of, I feel like the saying, don't work in the business, work on the business. I think that's when the owners and founders start to get lazy. And that's their cop out to their excuse. I feel like you can work in your business and on the business and never lose, never lose anything. No part of the focus of the drive. I think that's when we get complacent. That's when that saying comes forward. So
you know what? I think I'm going to borrow that. I personally, with my businesses, I work on them and I work in them, meaning that my marketing person's out right now. So when we got to get these shows up, guess who it falls on? Me. But am I afraid to do the work to do it, even though I don't want to do it? It doesn't make any difference. It's got to get done. And that's just I think that's an important lesson of you can be in the boardroom and you can be on the field and be doing both worlds.
Yeah, I think that keeps you I think it just keeps you current with the industry. I've seen a lot of other roofing companies, and I'm just speaking for roofing because I'm not been
Sure.
in a lot of other industries. I think a lot of the owners, they were great salespeople, and then they venture off from the company that they're at, and they start to want to, start their own company, and they think it's going to be easier, and they think they're going to go to the office. But those people don't last. I think it's 2024. We can't run our businesses like we did in the 80s and the 90s and the 70s and even the early 2000s. I think post COVID, it's the drive is a little different. I think where everything's at in the world today, you better be more diversified and work a little harder to make it, man.
100%. So tell me about the early days. I mean, I met you guys in the first couple of years of Perimeter Roofing, but I mean, the rocket ship story is just, it just kind of all came together, but I'm going to assume, I don't want to put words in your mouth, there was a lot of hard work in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I worked the first, 3.5 years. I worked 7 days a week. My son grew up in the truck. On the weekends I had him, waiting for adjusters, running canvassing teams on the weekends after storms. I lived on the road last year. Even, as of last year, I probably stayed on the road 14 weeks or maybe 12 or 14 weeks, during the acquisitions.
Mhm.
You know, just doing it from the ground up. Like I said, running canvassers, knocking doors, climbing roofs. I mean, from the grit, just you got to show up and make it happen. There's no excuses for not making it happen. I never could call home and tell my business partners, hey, I'm up here in Nashville, I can't make it happen, or I'm up here in Raleigh, I can't make it happen, and come home. I'm not wired that way. So
No,
we got to make it happen.
and I think I got a few years on you, but you're not. We're probably 4 or 5 years apart. But I'm gonna tell you, the travel people, when I go speak and whatever, sounds all glorious and whatever. But there's a lot of, logistical getting across the United States and sleeping in different beds and whatever. It's a lot of hard work behind the scenes. And but if you're willing to do whatever it takes and say, I'm not going to make an excuse, I'll do whatever it takes to get there. That's what I want, younger generations who are watching the show to see, because there's not some silver bullet in all this. Now, I do think it, like you and I talk about, how you treat people and all that's imperative. And
Right.
and, and Perimeter has built that culture from day one, as I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, over here. I mean, we don't hire everybody. We don't choose it. Well, we're 1099 based company, but we choose not to use everybody's services. If you don't fit our culture, it's probably not going to be. We're just going to go ahead and end it there. I mean, we're more driven. We're more driven individuals. We do care about our health, our family, our fitness, our drive. Very little people even drink alcohol over here. There's no partying on the weekends. There's no, it's very, we live with intent. We sell with intent. Our careers with intent, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I see it, I did for, I won't bore you with the details because I ended up getting my doctorate, but it was in leadership. And there was a reason I wanted to empower the people who did fit graduate school or whatever in real world. I mean, the only way to get in that club was a club. I'm a sales and marketing guy at heart. I hated that. I mean, they hated me. I mean, I didn't fit the box. But when I can go and tell people, this is what it means for you. If you want to go to school, here's what it means in the real world. And they're like, oh my God, we'd never understood just reading a book. I'm like, well, the real world's what it's all about. So when people ask me why I chose to do that and grind through that, I would never wish it upon my worst enemy if I knew what I knew then. But I shared that with you to say what I saw in Perimeter, because I studied organizational culture and have seen it and consulted in it. Yeah, you guys brought some of the greatest people together, and it looked, just from the outside looking in, and what I know of, just people, blood, sweat, and tears bleeding out Perimeter Roofing, and that is just hard to find and do.
Yeah, I mean, over here we all work together. Nobody works for nobody. There's no, the whole mentality is we're all in this together, and
Mhm.
that's a true statement. The pay grade's the same way. It's we're a community and a company. So like no man or woman left behind. Mentality. I've
Right.
never had nobody get evicted from their house over here. I've never had nobody go through bankruptcy over here. I've never had nobody lose a truck or anything over here. Like I said, when it's time to come together and get somebody through an obstacle or objective they're coming through in life. I mean, we rally together. Most people over here make six figures. Most people over here are pretty healthy, pretty successful. So I think that the same team would be, successful selling anything.
Exactly. I mean,
Just
what I was going to say, I remember, was it Shannon on your team when he went through a personal bout? I mean, I remember that the rally around it was amazing.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Shannon beat stage 4
Wow.
cancer. Yeah. And he's a professional athlete, before roofing, he played for the Red Sox and Twins.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. So his drive's a little different.
Wow.
Shannon's been, in the field with me since day one. We work every day together in the field. He was actually just beeping in a minute ago. If you've seen a glitch on my screen,
That's
um,
right.
so I mean, he leads from the front. He leads by example. He only missed, like, I think maybe 5 days the whole time he had stage 4 lymphoma.
God.
He climbed bags with he climbed roofs with colostomy bag. He's did everything, but he leads from the front. So
Uh,
it's a little different. over here. And like I said, when you got somebody that's out working you with stage 4 cancer, it raises the bar a little higher.
Yeah, you don't have to say much to everybody to up their game a little bit, right? And then
there ain't no laying out, with a runny nose. When Shannon's out here, he's green from chemo and
right.
not one hair on his body, and he's still climbing the steepest roof on the schedule. Yeah,
that's amazing. I remember that, and remember that was just amazing. And then Perimeter Cares, and I know y'all do another. I can't remember where you put the beds together for people, but those have been great outreaches, from the community stuff we've covered with you guys doing it. I can't remember. The one y'all do the beds, and then the one was
Sleep in Heavenly Peace. Yeah, it's still in the back of our warehouse right now. That's actually started through Keller Williams Red Day. I went over there on a Saturday and was a part of that and brought a couple team members. They had invited me, and I invited a couple of my team members over there, and everybody's just blown away with it. So we just kind of adopted it and been part of it, since day one. That and the paying back the school lunches. I mean, if you're going to roof in your community, you need to support your community as much as possible. You know what I mean? Like it comes hand in hand,
And with the stuff I do with the community family magazines, like remind me next time y'all do something with that bedding. We need to do a story on that. I don't want to forget. I'm saying it on the air. It has nothing to do with this interview, but that's so important, man. And y'all do. I've seen from day one. It's not just, hey, how much money can we make? It's like, how can we invest in anything and everybody internally and externally to make a difference and an impact in lives? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you're doing well. You got to give it to keep it. It's just like recovery, right? If you're in recovery and you're kind of sharing your story with other people, even if you're not doing it on social media or on a stage or anything, you still share it as you live your life. When you're in the community and you're doing well, you got to. I believe my philosophy is you got to give it to keep it. So keep giving back to the community that you're roofing in is kind of the motto that we've kind of live by now. The grassroots, our community, our baseball teams, our t-ball teams, our soccer teams, are all, the ones you got to give back to. You got to give, the poor, whoever the need, in the community that you're roofing in is where you keep your energy,
I love that. And I think you just had a Facebook post the other day. I happened to stumble upon, and I think it was something, I'm not butcher this, but it was like, you wanted this, you asked for this, so don't whine about, or something like about, you wanted to get to, and it's isn't that, I don't remember, I'm not saying it how you said it, but it's how did you write that?
When you're tired, you're busy, you're overwhelmed. I mean, remember, and it's all work stuff. I mean, remember you begged for this, so don't cry about it now. If you got appointments 7 days a week when you didn't have one appointment, then that's what you're praying for, what you're begging for. So embrace it.
Amen. I think you had actually spoke to me because I think I might have been complaining about being too busy, and I'm like, you know what? That was the goal, right? When I say being busy, having that. All right. So, what do you, I'm just kind of asking you things, people, I see a roofing company start every day, but what's like a misconception? Everybody just thinks, I guess they just go knock on doors and, make $100,000 a year. And what's a misconception about getting into this industry, you would say?
That is easy. That, one thing about roofing is high risk, high reward, right? So everything in roofing is high risk, high reward. If you put the roof on wrong, you can't use the materials ever. You got to start over again, right?
Right.
If one leaks and it's on somebody's hardwood floors, it might be 6-figure mistake. Everything, climbing the roof is high risk. Everything in everything in roofing when you're running a business, the mistakes are usually 6 figures. So everybody just thinks because it's not a licensed trade in Georgia. Now there's only 19 licensed companies in Georgia with a voluntary license, and we happen to be one of them. And one of our team members actually sits on the board. Catherine, you might know her from Facebook. Share all of her stuff. She actually sits on the board. It's actually a hard test to take. But that's why you see one pop up every week. I was looking at one earlier that popped up. He's worked at 4 different companies and now he's going to own one. It's just not a licensed trade, so there's no regulation. You can start one when we get off this podcast, Ryan. You can,
I don't think I'm going to do that because I think if I'm going to do that, I'm just going to call it and come work with you guys because you know what, I'm more of just a. But no, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. No, I'd see it all the time. We've got a private inside Facebook group inside our town, and every week and I'm always pulling it down because I'm 100% perimeter. But every week it's some new roofing, whatever, and they don't even follow the rules of the group that are, promotions on Wednesdays, working Wednesdays. But, so all right, we got to talk about something fun. I see you do a lot of biking, right? So is that one of your
Yes, sir.
favorite things to do? Because I see you always racing bikes. I mean, pedal bikes.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the endurance stuff, the long distance stuff. I mean, that's the way I'm wired. So if I'm not climbing roofs, I'm racing bikes. My wife is actually a cyclist too, and she's big into working out and stuff. But that's the way I'm wired, man. I got to sign up for something. It's always if I'm not doing some type of long distance endurance sports or training for them or roofing, that there ain't no telling where my life would go.
Yeah.
Since the day I got sober, I've been running. So I was running until I could afford to cycle because
Yeah.
cycling's kind of
Right.
it's kind of an expensive hobby. But yeah, it's endurance sports, man. I was doing Spartan races, half marathons before the biking. I think with the addict mentality, it's the same thing. I want to feel the pain.
Yep.
So most people race 5, 6, 7 times a year, and I might race probably 25 to 30 times a year.
I
So
get it. You're feeling something that could have been a negative with a positive.
right, 100%. Yeah, I like to deplete my body. I like to challenge myself. It's a great community too, just phenomenal individuals. I always tell people, like, when they're in recovery, how you go to the 12-step meetings, the AAs, NAs. I mean, my training when I went to 365 AA and NA meetings straight one time when I first got sober. And then I replaced that with once I didn't want to get buried in those rooms. So my meeting was an hour run. My meeting was an hour bike ride. My meeting was an hour at the gym. Once I get out of those rooms to continue my recovery, and just if it's not broke, don't fix it. So that's what I do. I have high goals in cycling and mountain biking, and I have high goals in my career too, and also in my family. So like I said, there's no idle time. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I live with intent, either with my family goals, my cycling goals, or my career goals. So I'm it's every hour on the days, accounted for with something positive.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm proud of you, man. I mean, it's
Thank you.
I would just tell you that's a lot of people don't understand how I tick, but that's how I have to have something in front of me to be pushing towards. I don't get just sitting still and staring at the wall. I don't understand it. So I know that's my mindset. I'm all in or nothing. I might as well just be asleep because I don't know how to do 50%.
I'm ADHD. I have to have 2 screens going at one time, scrolling on one, talking to my wife. It drives her crazy, and doing something else. There's got to be like a TV going, a screen going, work going, something. So I'm just firing off 24 hours a day. Then when I go to sleep, I'm asleep. So.
Yeah. That's what I said. But like my wife's like, you got like an on-off switch. You either get Ryan 100% or 0%. But no, I'm the same way. When we were growing up, they didn't really talk about it, but I had ADHD too. And to get through, I've learned to hyper focus. Like if you were doing a race or if I'm going to go to the gym or whatever, I just dial it in and completely focus on that. But for a lot of people out there, I mean, I don't look at ADHD as an excuse. I've looked at it as something that could be a superpower.
It is
know what I
a
mean?
superpower. Yeah. And with all the social media too, with my dyslexia, I miss, so much. Truly didn't. I came up with the way to read at about 20 years old, 21 years old, the way I read. But with the scrolling now and stuff, and I feel like I'm catching up.
Right.
From the first 40 years I couldn't read.
Well, it's funny. I told you, Raymond, so I ended up getting this doctorate in leadership. But honestly, I went through elementary and high school, and I think subjects like I didn't understand, like science or whatever. I don't think I understood a thing. I mean, I'm literally not sure I learned anything. So I'm maybe on like a 5th grade level. I got to go back and relearn it. So, I always look at it. People have different areas of where they're strong, and I say shore up those strengths, and then the areas you're weaker, you don't have to be great at them. Just work on those a little bit too. So,
Right.
so what is at this point in your life? What professionally with your family? I know that's so important to you. What are you most thankful for?
I'm thankful for my team, dude. Thankful for my health, right?
Right.
Without my health, I might be a little bit of a hypochondriac. So if I go down a rabbit hole on it, don't please excuse me.
No.
I'm thankful for my health at 47 years old, to be the ability to climb roofs, to be the ability to still work out, to be active father to my 12-year-old. I just think without our health, I mean, I did very well. I've been, pretty successful financially. I say that none of that matters now, but that's because I already got it. But our health is our wealth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with if you're flat broke today and you got your health, you're still the richer than the richest sick person. So there's still opportunity long as you have your health. So you know, I hyper focus on, you know, on my health now because I don't want to lose it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've checked a lot of the other boxes in my life, you know, as far as, you know, money and, you know, material things or whatever. Yeah, when I you know, fizzle out and retire in the next, I guess, you know, 1 or 2 years, or take a smaller role, is watching my team grow and getting them to the next step so they can see the light in the tunnel too. So that's just
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, we got to cut out just a hair bit there, but you're talking about, you know, another few years of doing whatever, getting your team, letting them see the light in the tunnel. And I think one thing you're saying, Raymond, in that is, you know, I tell people I'm 51, and you know, I kind of was dreading my 50th birthday, and I went to my doctor, and he goes, "Hey, Ryan, you know what the alternative is? Just tell people, okay, I finally turned 50. And then like, oh yeah, okay, you're 50, big deal." And now I look back and go, where'd the last year and a half go? And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, at a certain point, no matter how much money you have, time and your health, that's what you can't get more of, right?
right. That's I think maybe I'm going through my midlife crisis or something at 47.
No, it starts to happen about there.
Yeah. I'm so focused. Like I'm on vacation right now, and my whole vacation consists of, you know, exercise, you know, long bike rides, and then downtime with my family. I mean, I answer my phone the whole time for my team, but the whole vacation I want to get like 150 miles in, you know, to take care of my health and and implement healthy habits in my life, you know.
100%.
So
That's
yeah,
what.
I don't know, man. Maybe I got so hyper focused on my health. It's like I'm walking around hypochondriac nowadays.
Well, you know what? There's worse things to be. I mean, that's like I said, I was telling my kids that the other day. I'm like, look, you know, if I could get 4 years back, or 47 to 51, you couldn't pay. I don't know what dollar figure I would give to have. Or you know, if we're able to live longer and healthier, there's not a dollar figure you can put on that.
No, that's what I was telling everybody. Once you get, like I said, you know, I've been real fortunate. You know, when we worked really hard and put my head down, made a lot of sacrifices for the 9 years. But now I'm just like, you know, my only goal now is like, hey, I just want to maintain what I got and
Right.
keep my health. You know, so.
Well, we're coming to the end, man. It's been an amazing interview. Anything? We got about 3 minutes left. What anything that I hadn't asked you that you think would be forward to share with our audience? Because you have it as the video show and then the podcast and then we'll make sure we get all the contact info.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's important, like, you know, since it's going to community and hopefully the younger generation or people younger in their career, is if the average person in the United States lives to 75 years old, or 80 years old, I don't know. I didn't look
I'm
at
hoping that's
statistics.
80.
Yeah, hoping 80, right? So I tell everybody, listen, only listen to people you would trade places with, and out of that 80 years, put your head down for 10 in your 30s
Yeah.
or 40s. Put your head down.
Hello,
Put your
kitty.
head down for, yeah, right. Put your head down for 10 years and get hyper focused, and, you know, don't listen to everybody about balance. Live without balance for 10 years in your career and see where you're at, then find your balance.
Amen. That's spot on. And Raymond, just with like the perimeter roofing and, you know, the different companies affiliated with perimeter roofing, what's the best way? Is it just the website or Instagram or
Yeah,
Facebook?
yeah, the website or Facebook or my personal Facebook page or anything. If you want to, you know more about us, if you want to, you know, join the team or you want to get your roof looked at, I mean, you can hit me directly. I'm pretty
You're pretty easy.
accessible. Yeah, my phone number's posted on my page every day. So.
Yeah, no, you're very accessible, and I was gonna say, we got to but you know, if you guys haven't seen it, Raymond had one of the best things of all time with 1 million views with was it a roof? Was it a State Farm guy? Yeah. So I don't want us to go down a rabbit trail because I'll end up running us out of time on the show, but you could check that out. But you're on Raymond Little on
Wendell
Facebook?
Little.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raymond Wendell Little on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like I said, and my every time there's a storm, you'll see my phone number up there.
Hey, you know what? When we're in sales and marketing, you got to be in sales and marketing. Take advantage, man.
7 days a week, brother. Always selling.
7 days a week. All right, brother. I'm going to close it out. Hey, it's Raymond Little, one of the co-founders of Perimeter Roofing, working as vice president, still up and doing it every day. Take a little time from vacay for the show. Thanks, man, for coming on. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Ron.
You bet. Folks, you've been listening to another Community Connections with Ryan Sauers. We will see you again next time.
This has been the Community Connection Show with Ryan Sauers. Stay on the lookout for new or past shows with community leaders wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you want to see the video interview of any show, visit communityconnectionstv.com. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we will see you next time.